Trying to keep up with people who are built for a different race is destroying you. The problem was the race you chose to run. It always has been. You're just too distracted to realize it yet. Every day you spend running their race is a day you aren't building the one thing that could actually change your position in the room. And there is a way out. One that has nothing to do with getting better at what they're already good at. Choosing to be and do different was something etched into my identity, even ever since I was still a little kid. I was always that kid who chooses the alternative things in life. I take the unusual path to school, pick the not-so-fancy toys, and think of a completely different way to come up with the same correct answer to a specific question in my homework. I've never really given it much thought about it at that time, but now that I'm all grown up and matured, yeah, I really took a liking to being different. I was taught how to properly write and hold a pencil in the usual way, but I still chose to hold it my way, having the pencil in between my middle finger and ring finger. Yeah, stop imagining it for a moment and pick up a pen just to paint the actual picture. It's weird, right? It is to me too, don't worry. I've always been scolded by both my grandmom for holding it that way, calling it a bad writing habit, but it never really left me. Fast forward to today, I am a college graduate, and I still hold the pencil the same way. Growing up, I was considered to have the best penmanship in my family, and that's a flex for me. As an adult, I can proudly say that I've officially conquered the pencil thing, but I experienced something related to it as I grew older. I did mention that I've finished college in that first part, right? Did I? I feel like I did. Well, fast forward to today. Me and my friends are all grown-ups now. Yeah, I know, we're at UNC status now. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, if you haven't done that yet, check those out here. Those are very great too. These friends of mine are successful now with the work in line to the degrees they finished in college, while here I am, a freelancer. Whenever we assemble to chit-chat, eat, and have fun, the adults in us can't prevent ourselves from talking about our personal work. All of them have very lengthy conversations, while I stay silent, because I chose a path they can't understand. This silence makes me feel so guilty for not being able to contribute anything valuable to the conversations we were having. I felt like I didn't belong there, because I never really earned a spot to sit next to them. I felt alone in a way, because I chose the unconventional path, while everyone else didn't. But as time went by, I realized that I was the only one thinking about this of myself, and my friends never really saw me this way. I also felt a connection with one anime character who felt the same way, and choosing the unconventional way became his identity powerful enough that nobody else can take it away from him. Yamaguchi Tadashi was one of the 4 first-year students who were accepted to add firepower to Karasuno in Haikyuu. However, he faces a very heavy circumstance. One of the first years was Hinata, the shrimpy who had exceptional vertical jump, running speed, and extreme desire to win. Another was Kageyama, the genius setter from Kitagawa Daiichi. Lastly, the other one was Tsukishima, Karasuno's defensive wall. All first years had their own strengths, landing them a spot each in Karasuno's starting lineup. Except for one, Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi had no specialty he could use to fight on the court yet. That's why he was the only freshman to be a bench warmer, and he felt that he was surrounded by people who were built for the court in ways he simply was not. This was Yamaguchi's reality for a while, up until the team's practice match against the neighborhood team. Upon watching the practice game from the bench, Yamaguchi noticed some things, but the one thing that really caught his attention was Shimada's serve that the team hardly ever got, the jump floater serve. He noticed that it wasn't like the conventional standing serve that Hinata, Tanaka, or Daiichi does, nor a powerful jump serve like Kageyama's. But to his surprise, the floater serve, which is a slow and spinless serve, was the type that Karasuno was struggling with. Knowing in himself that he doesn't excel in spiking, receiving, blocking, tossing, or even serving a powerful serve, he felt that he finally found his weapon to finally be able to earn his spot to fight in the court with the other players. Here is where Yamaguchi's philosophy was deeply emphasized. Yamaguchi was brave enough to do what no other player on his team hasn't been able to. He was shown the conventional way to get better and stronger, but he still chose to pursue a totally different way to fight. Little did he know, this would turn out to be the greatest decision he ever made with his playing career. After the practice match that I mentioned earlier, Yamaguchi took the extra mile to personally reach out to Shimada, asking him to teach him the jump floater serve. Personally, I have always felt bad for Yamaguchi not being on the same level as his peers, but he actually proved to me, well, if I'm being honest here, to all of us, that he doesn't settle being a bench warmer forever. And I loved this moment for him. To see that passion burn inside him ignited something inside me, too. Yamaguchi actually understood a very valuable lesson towards his character arc. He tried to look at things from a fresh perspective. He didn't ask himself how to get better at what's already working well for the team, but what they were still missing. When he got the answer he needed to solve his problem, he then spent every quiet, invisible hour building the answer to that question. When Yamaguchi chose to learn how to do the jump floater serve, it became a declaration of his identity, not just a volleyball skill. His presence on that court was not going to be a courtesy extended to him by his teammates, but a structural requirement. Something the team could not afford to go without, and this became evident in the later stages of the series. Whenever Karasuno needed to change the flow of the game, stop the opponent's momentum, or even gain their own, he was the automatic first choice that came to the coach's mind. He knew that with a power solely functional through Yamaguchi alone, he became an entirely essential weapon to Karasuno's arsenal. This weapon was fully utilized in Karasuno's matches versus a lot of strong opponents, and it also led the team to gain crucial points in high-stakes games. So what is Yamaguchi's character really trying to teach us as adults? Well, when you are sitting in a room full of people who seem to have a clearer, more legitimate reason to be there, we all do the basic human instinct as much as we can, which is becoming more like them. Get the same credentials. Follow the same path. Run the same race until you catch up. The problem about that, though, is that is the best and fastest path to exhaustion and burnout. How? Well, think of it this way. You just were never going to win a race that was designed for someone else. The real question that Yamaguchi also asked himself while being on that bench is not how to keep up, but what this room needs that nobody else here is building yet. It was never about finding your weapon by watching what everyone else was building. It was always about looking at what the room was missing and filling it so completely that the room forgot it could ever function without you. This was sovereign utility, by the character Yamaguchi Tadashi.